This is my last video. After hundreds of shorts, reels, interviews, I'm shutting down my channel. Let me explain. For those of you who are new, I'm Randall, I'm 26 years old, and I'm from California. Over the past year, I've made hundreds of videos explaining and defending the Catholic faith, with the ultimate goal of bringing people to heaven. And to understand why I'm stopping, you have to understand where I'm coming from. You see, I wasn't always a practicing Catholic. I grew up in a Catholic home, went to Catholic school for 13 years, but I never really lived out my faith. I went through the motions. That changed freshman year of college, when a group of evangelicals invited me to their Bible study. At the time, I didn't know the difference between Catholics and Protestants. I love Jesus, they did too, so what's the problem? You see, I had never met people my age on fire for Christ, and their churches were amazing. Bonfires, late night conversations, all encouraging me to take my faith seriously. And the verse that hit me like a truck was Revelation 3:15, where Jesus says it's better to be hot or cold, but not lukewarm. I realized I was being a hypocrite. I try so hard academically, athletically, but not my faith. I treated God like a vending machine, only talking to him when I needed something. Over the months, I started reading the Bible, praying, and things were great. Until our theological differences emerged. They wanted me to get rebaptized because they don't recognize infant baptism. This was the start of my apologetics career. I was rocked. I had an existential crisis. Was everything I believed in wrong? I dove into Catholic YouTube, Father Mike Schmitz, Bishop Barron, reading about the early church, and ultimately, I felt called to come back home. I went to confession for the first time in years and started going to Mass again. Even though coming back to the Catholic Church was really lonely because everyone there was like 50 plus, I decided I would rather be in the most boring, modest Catholic church than the most vibrant, popular Protestant one, because that's where we have Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. 7 years later, and my faith is now integral to my life. Throughout university and young adult ministry, it's only grown. It's inseparable to my identity. Over the years, I've built lifelong friendships. I have a well-paying software engineering job. I've dated, and at one point, I thought I'd get married. I've been making content for over 8 years. And last year, I was in a creative rut. Then, in May of 2024, I was on my way to adoration, and it hit me. If Christ is so important to me, it's part of my identity, why not just make a YouTube channel about it? That's when I started Iron Inquisitor. And within 4 months, I was talking to Trent Horn, Jimmy Akin, Catholic Answers, and the rest is a blur. My videos have reached over 100,000 people across all platforms. And it's funny, almost providential, that of all the brands or nonprofits that I'd love to collaborate with, I've gotten the chance to work with my two favorite, Catholic Answers and Live Action. I was even invited by the Vatican for the Jubilee event. Life is sweet, but I haven't been at peace. I keep asking myself, what's the why? Why am I doing this? Why do I make videos? Why do I serve as an altar server or a catechist? My ultimate goal in life is to get to heaven and to bring others along with me. And while media is powerful, a few years ago, it dawned on me, what more direct way to do this than by offering the sacraments, the Eucharist, confession, as a priest? So today, I quit my job. I'm shutting down this channel because I am entering the diocesan seminary. I'm excited. I'm also terrified, from thinking I'd get married to traveling the world, doing this whole influencer thing. To now spending at least a year offline. It's bittersweet to say the least. But as a priest once told me, don't fall in love with the gifts, fall in love with the gift giver. As a reminder, the church has 3 levels of vocation. First, universal call to holiness, which we're all called to. Second, our state in life, whether it be marriage, priesthood, or religious life. And third, our particular mission or job. What's our job within that second level vocation? And YouTube is great, but that's a 3rd level vocation. I'm trying to focus on that 2nd level. What am I doing long term with my life? And you see, one day, all of this will fade. Only our souls and Christ will remain. Will I make more content in the future? I don't know. At this point, it's up to my rector and my bishop. And to be honest, I'm not really worried. If there's one thing I've learned these past 2 years, if you surrender to God, He might change your life drastically. And if something's meant to happen, it will happen. So, why am I making this video? I'm not trying to look holy or sanctimonious, but I know a lot of you watch my content and you're inspired. And I want to challenge you. Watching videos, podcasts like this, it's fun, but it only takes you so far. God can't drive a parked car. You can't scroll on your phone all day. You have to take action. The body of Christ is real, tangible. It's not just online. And so, if you're curious about the priesthood or religious life, go on a come and see retreat. Maybe you feel called to marriage. Ask that person out. Life is short, guys. I'm 26 and I'm going to blink and I'm going to be 40. And don't get me wrong, discernment takes patience. Jesus didn't start his ministry until he was 30. But when God calls, don't just sit there. Take the risk. It's just like the gym. When the pain comes, those are the moments of the biggest growth. Give you a quick piece of advice. Here are my 4 biggest tips I've learned for discernment. First, find a good spiritual director. Second, this is the most important one, go to adoration. At least do 1 holy hour a week, ideally at least 30 minutes every day. Adoration is like drinking from the faucet of God. St. Pope James Paul II, people kept asking him, how are you so charismatic? How do you know so much? How are you such a great leader? And he said, because I do a holy hour every morning. All of my best YouTube creative ideas, they've all been from adoration. Third, take action. Don't be afraid. Just do it. If you spend all day trying to make a decision with analysis paralysis, sometimes you'll end up worse than if you just made a decision and ended up being wrong, because at least you get instant feedback. And fourth, here's the simple litmus test a priest told me to discern if you feel called to any vocation. Dating someone, religious orders, priesthood. Ask yourself this: do I feel at peace? Friends, I don't know if or when I'll be back, but this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. It's bittersweet. I'm going to miss you guys. I feel like I'm one of those stupid YouTubers filming one of those apology videos. I'm going to miss you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for being part of my life, part of this journey along with me. And in the words of St. Catherine of Siena, be who God meant you to be, and you will set the word on fire. Viva Cristo Rey.